All right, this is our next video in the series of moving from Windows to Linux. Here we have side by side on the left-hand side the Windows command prompt, which we're going to start here. On the right-hand side, we have a secure shell connected to a Linux box in my lab environment. So we're just going to compare things a little bit apples to apples if we can. Some common tasks over here. We're going to see what's in the directory. We're going to type dir, hit enter. Okay. We see that this is the path that we're currently in. Okay, the command I just entered. The volume, we have C drive. So drives are designated by letters in the Windows environment. We have volume serial number, which we really don't care much about right now. And then the directory, we see the dot, and we see the dot dot. So dot is shorthand for the current directory I'm in, and that's useful as an alias in certain commands. And then dot dot is the shorthand for the directory above the one I'm in. So dot is video, dot dot is Al Lipscomb. Okay, so that's how it's represented here. These are the timestamps, 5:15 p.m. These were both just created. Okay, and this is what we have here. Now here we're going to do it ls minus l. Okay. Again, we have no files in this directory, and we don't have as much information. So we're going to go ls minus la, okay, and we're going to pick up the two hidden files, the dot and the dot dot, okay. So again, we can see that the times they were created, which 24-hour clock. This equates to same time as these other two over here. Now, the one little bit of additional information we have over here is the security on these directories. These are directories. They're highlighted in blue in this particular terminal program to let us know that they're directories. We see that their D is here, okay, and we see their dir here to let us know they're directories, okay. We don't have a total free space of the drive, and it's fairly concise. Now, one of the reasons that this is an advantage, the concise information, is that in working with Linux, there are a lot of very useful tools that let us gather information about or from text files and other files without having to do anything overly complicated. And I'll show you some of that in a little bit. Now, over here, I want to create a file, and I'm just going to call it win.txt, win.txt, okay? So one way to do that would be to use an editor. And the editor we're going to have available to us is Notepad. So we're going to do, and we're going to put a space and win.txt. Okay, I hit enter. And of course it popped up on my other screen, so I'm going to drag it over here. And so here's win.txt. Now I'm just going to put something simple in here. Hello, hello world, exclamation mark. Okay, now I want to save this file. So I come up here to File, and I can do Control S, okay? So, or I can come up here to File Save, okay? And then I'm going to exit, and I'm going to go ahead and click exit there, okay? Now, I have a file, all right? And we can see that it's down here. It's win.txt, okay? Now, over here on the Linux side, I'm going to use a little different program. I'm going to use a program called Nano. I'm going to call this lin.txt. Lin, okay? All right. And I'm going to put in the same thing. Hello world, exclamation mark. Now, to save it, again, I don't have an option. This is not a GUI, so I'm going to have to go ahead and do a control. Down here at the bottom, we see the write out is control. That's what that caret is representing, and O. So I do control O, ask me the name of the file, I hit enter, I'm done. So I'm going to do control X for exit. Okay. And here again, I'm going to do ls minus la. Okay. And I see that I've got 13 bytes as opposed to 12 bytes. Okay. That's because the way that there's some hidden characters in the file, and the way that Windows counts the number of bytes versus the way Linux counts the number of bytes. Okay. All right. So see, there's a little bit of differences right there. Now, again, over here, we don't have any more information other than the number of bytes and the timestamp it was created. We have information on how much free space is left on the disk, but I don't know that that does us a lot of good at the moment. Okay, so over here, we have three groups of three and a leading dash. Now, if this was a directory, that would be a D. It's a file, so it's a dash. And then we have three characters, R for read, W for write, a dash. Now, an X would be there if this were an executable file, or for a directory, a file I could enter. Okay, so the first one is me, what the user that owns the file can do with it. I can read and I can write it, but I cannot execute it. A member of the group that owns this file, the group is also named ARL in this case. A little confusing, but there's a reason for it we'll get into in further videos. And then what everyone else can do with this file. So I can read it, people in my group can read it, and anyone else on the system can read it. I can write it, but nobody else can write to that file. It is just for me, okay? So I'm going to clear the screen. Over here on the command prompt side, I'm going to enter CLS for clear screen. On this side, I'm going to type in clear to clear the screen, okay? All right. Now, let's say I want to do something with the file again, but I want to create another file. On the Windows side, I can do a couple things, but I'm going to do what's kind of a traditional way to do it. I'm going to copy con, so I get this right. It's been a while since I've done this. Out the text, test, Control Z, enter. Okay. Directory. Okay. Now you see I have a 27 character file called out.txt. Now I want to see what's in out.txt without using an editor. So what I'm going to do is type it. Okay. And I have one file's copied is the contents of that file, it looks like. Let's try that again. So let's look in Notepad. One file copied. Okay, I must have done something wrong, but here you have it. This is what's in that file. All right. Now over here, I want to echo hello text. Okay. And I'm going to cat out.txt. Okay, there we go. So We can do the same thing over here. So let's be fair. Let's echo hello. We're going to redirect that to out.text. Okay, I'm going to clear that. Oh, sorry, CLS directory. Okay, so out.text is now 10 characters long. Okay, so we're going to type out.text, and we have hello, but it's got the quotes in it. All right, so let's see. We didn't have quotes here. We've got quotes over there. So you can see they're a little bit different. They behave a little bit differently. Now here, I'm showing 10 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, there's some hidden characters in here that are added on by the operating system. Over here, okay, we have 6 characters. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, there's a hidden character right here. It's added on by the operating system. So little differences. We can see how they work. Now, there's a couple other commands that we can use from the command line. All right, so let's get rid of that out.text. That's just been a problem. So I want to delete out.text. Okay, then I'm going to check it, and it's gone. And over here, I'm going to remove rm out.text. Okay, ls minus l. And it's okay. Now it's gone. Okay, so that's how we handle simple text files and some simple file manipulations. Now I want to make a directory. Let's do a make mkdir test. Okay, dir. And I can see that I've got a directory called test. Okay, and I've still got my win.txt, and it's a little hard to see, but there's no dir here, so this is just comes straight on over. Okay, on the Linux side, I'm going to make dir, okay, test, okay, ls minus la, okay, and we can see in blue down here, I've got a directory called test. Over here, the D, okay, all right, so there they are. Okay, so I'm going to do a CLS here. I'm going to do a CLS here. Oop, I'm going to do a clear here. Sorry. Okay. All right. Dir here. LS minus LA here. All right. Now, if I want to put that win or that lin.txt into test, let's see how we can do that. Can we say move win.txt to test? One file move. Over here, it's just mv lin.txt to test. Oh, I'm sorry. Extra. There we go. Plus minus LA. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to cd to test. Do a dir. There's our win.txt. cd to test. Dir. There we are. Okay. So they're similar. Small differences in the commands, but the principles are the same. Okay. You can move around, create directories, create subdirectories, and then copy files into them and remove from them. All right. Now, we can also remove directories, and we can remove files from within directories. We can copy things. For example, let's just do an ls. Okay, we can see that we don't have as much information. Again, it's very terse, but I want to copy lin.txt up one level. And I said that up one level means ... as a shortcut. right? So I do that, and I go CD. Now I'm going to check here. My file's still here, cd dot dot ls, and there's lin.txt, okay? So over here, I can see I'm in my test directory. I'm going to copy lin.txt dot dot, one file copy. I'm going to cd up one directory, dir, and there's lin.txt there. And it's still there, okay? So there's just a basic file manipulation. You can try it on your system. And then we're going to continue on these series of videos showing some other things we can do. But those are the basics. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you later.